Starting the triage for Chef Server on the 18th of October. We are starting with 1481 since we don't have newer issues from the community that we need to address at this point. Create a user by supplying a word key. Yeah, it might be a good to have.
Yeah. What is our? I mean, this is a feature request.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's probably needs to be some flow for. We need to figure out what features we want to like flow into AHA or otherwise bring into product. This is not. I don't think this is hard. I think the API allows it. So this is actually just an extension to the chef server cuddle command.
Yeah. Um, I guess the thought that I'm having is once we move to automate, since Chef Server Cuddle would not be available, is this something like this will be only for the omnibus?
Some bits of chef server cuddle I thought were available in automate.
Yeah, I think it's migrated to the Chef Automate command now, but I don't know if we let people add users into Chef Server.
Yeah, I don't know how much we migrated to the command versus just wrapped it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a full Go API for Chef Server at the time they did that work. So I'm pretty sure they're wrapping the command.
Oh, so you're saying that this might still be available even if we went to.
Yes, it could, or
Okay.
be made available at least.
Okay.
So,
But I guess in terms of if I'm an automate user for Chef Server, then I might add users into automate and they will automatically be used for Chef Server, right? Or is it still the same workflow of add a user for the Chef Server org
I
or
believe
create
it's
an.
still the same workflow.
Okay. Okay.
Because Chef Server doesn't really auth like automate. We never did that work to synchronize user auth for Chef Server with user auth for automate. So we're going to have to do some work around that. Let's put it in as a feature request. We may not accept it as a feature, but let's at least mark it as it's a feature request. It's I think this could be
Good
yeah
first issue.
yeah. It actually I think it could be a good first issue. I'm going to just add a quick note here.
Okay. Uh, so the node that you're adding, is it addressing the community user?
Um,
Or like, I was just wondering if I should write a note saying thank you, and it might be a good to have, but I'm not sure we can prioritize it at this moment. Or is that understood by the labels and we don't need to put anything there?
I think it could be understood from the labels, but sorry, let me finish what I'm
Sure.
basically just writing a technical comment right now on this. Do you have the standard? I mean, I'm going to just,
The link to AHA, is that what you're looking for?
yeah.
Yeah, I can give it to you in a second. Pasted it to you.
Okay. I don't know. What do you say? Um, and I'm just actually just leave it. You want to look at what I wrote and see if you think there should be
Yeah,
more.
thank you.
And yeah, I don't know where we want to comment on priority. It's actually probably a size S, actually, I will say.
Oh, um, do you have the number pulled up of that issue?
1481.
Oh,
Oh,
so this is the one. Yes, I meant to change the size medium as soon as we said that it was a good first issue, but I okay. Moving on, 1480. This is something that is still valid, and
yes,
we
I
have a
see. We
comment
have
on
an
that.
8. Yeah. Yeah. This is why filtering as a workflow suggestion, um, our internal stuff might not, we might want something other than untriaged for our internal stuff, or some way uh, of like capturing that it's an external thing. Like we basically immediately triage all our internally filed issues out of untriaged in Habitat so that you can spot the recent changes that aren't part of your internal flow. Um, But anyhow, so we have this. I'm wondering. Okay, so I don't know what the admin flag is.
Yeah, I was trying to look at that.
Um, right. Just, I think this might take a quick look at the source code here.
Yeah.
Use the source, Luke. So this reading into OC Chef WM named client here.
Oh, this will be named.
Since the client exists, I'm pretty
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. I made a mistake.
And so
Just to clarify, I am looking at Chef WM named client, not OC. There is no OC Chef WM named client. Anyway, never mind.
yeah, the relevant logic actually turns out to be in Chef Objects, Chef Client URL, it looks like. Basically, in Chef Objects, Chef Client URL, there is some stuff around the server API version that if we're API v0, we respect admin.
Oh dear.
And I'm wondering if this, yeah, I'm wondering if this is basically in V1. In V1, we do all sorts of stuff around is admin. It's weird. We okay, so yeah, in V0 we have the keys. In V1 we've moved the key update elsewhere.
Yeah, that.
This I
Sorry.
am. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember that change, but I have lost the context. So I'm gonna go look up the documentation.
Yeah, I think this might be a by intent behavioral issue. I would like to do this. Might be worth getting a refresher from Lamont or or probably Lamont would be the good person to cross check with. But I believe that admin is no longer just not a thing anymore in the newer versions of the code.
Yeah. Is that something we wanted to allow though, or should be allowing, or
So for backwards compatibility, we and like Chef 13 is when we went to V1 client. Um, that'll be its own dive through the change log.
um, yeah, I'm still looking at the code. You are a step ahead, or 3 steps ahead.
Hmm.
Should API version. Set values from current client.
Yes. here we go. I think I found. Let's see if I can link to this.
Sorry, excuse me. Okay, now I see what you were talking about. API v0 has an admin, and that data used to get updated, and then it's not. So then I would have expected this error to show up when we moved from API v0 to v1,
Mm-hmm.
but it was reported in 2018. So I kind of understand why we would see it now on 13 or 17, unless
Yeah, we would
the,
definitely. Yeah, I think we're at V2 API even. So
oh, then maybe v1 came out somewhere in 2018.
V1 came out with 12.1.
Okay,
So yeah, um, if you look in here,
that would explain.
I'll paste locally. What I'm writing up a note here, but
Ah, there you go. So we can actually close this issue. Unless, sorry, you mentioned you are putting a note on this.
yeah. Um, I admit that I do not remember exactly what the change with the admin stuff was. Um,
Oh,
is this the validator? This might be the validator.
I'll try to. Dig through the change log a little bit.
Okay. Um, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna. This is a partial comment. It probably needs a little more. Um,
API v0 deprecated. Um, you're right, but there are no words around it. API v1 not
yeah,
good.
I'm having a little trouble. I'm having a little trouble remembering the context around this, and we might need to do a little research. Um, on this what I have here is like true but not entirely helpful. If that makes sense. Um, maybe just we should make a note here.
Should is this something like if we are not supporting it, is the right thing to close this, or is the right thing to ask if they need it and then check whether or not we are going to re-enable it?
Um, I I I feel like it. This is by design. It's been this way for a while. My suspicion is that they were running on an older Chef client and upgraded, but I don't know because this is. I, I think that I think there's a problem with the documentation. I feel like this. Yeah, I I'm not sure the path they ended up here by. And if we have documentation telling people about all this stuff, well, um, and we've deprecated it, well, that's kind of unpleasant. And I'd like to maybe get to the bottom of like, you know, are we sending people down a an incorrect path somewhere that we should fix? Because it's a little mystifying, and honestly, as a chef server developer, I can't find good docs around the change.
Uh, yeah. So maybe I can just ask them, uh, like the path that they took that led them to see this error now, and also if something would be broken if this does not work, like if they need an alternative, because this is not supported functionality from what we can see, but if they need it, maybe we can, there might be some other way to do it.
Yeah.
Hmm. You also linked the changelog, right?
I linked the changelog. You're typing. What do you?
Oh, I was just
Yeah.
saying, uh, since 12.1.0, is what was no, this is blocking. Well, I don't mean blocking because I know if this is a bug, it is blocking them, but I sort of mean uh, how do I phrase this?
So I just updated my message there a little bit because
Okay, can you
so
describe your use case? Okay. Uh, yeah, well, I guess we'll wait for somebody to respond before taking any action on this. Let's wait maybe a
yeah,
couple of
let's
weeks.
let's let's let's. I would say that we can change the. It is. We can mark it as triage. Um,
Needs information.
needs information, and I'm not sure what the other. Most likely, this is a. Yeah, this is. Yeah,
Well,
this is.
it's not of type deprecation. It is asking for something that might be already deprecated. I don't know how better to classify it. Aspect documentation. Knife would be others. Status. Creating and contributor. Okay, we we are over time, so I wanted to check with you if you wanted to stop or look at another issue.
Let's look at one more.
Okay. Uh, did I get rid of that? Okay. Lost leader after restarting chef's backend.
All right.
Or there is also a status endpoint fails because I don't know by the sounds of it if it is a chef server issue.
Well, let's look at it. If it's,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Right, right. This is why I've opened it, but I also opened the next one just in case.
yeah. Um, okay.
So no leaders and never recovers. Leader to be elected.
I think this is closed. Let's close this. It looks like, or either close this or we need to move. Okay, so all right, I see. So they're not hurting anymore, obviously. Um,
Yeah. Thank you.
um, uh, so okay, so yeah, basically they're filing this because we don't have is Chef backend open.
It might be now.
No, it's not.
Ah,
So they didn't have any home to file this.
I don't know.
Let's okay. So do we have a chef back in triage or a category here?
I don't think so.
All right. Let's just treat this as. I mean, since this is the only place. All right. Let's give a component.
We have a component, yeah.
Yeah, component chef backend. It's a bug. Um, let's. I think.
The correctness or UX
Correctness, I would say.
stability.
Stability is also true, I would guess. Um,
I don't know what triage this will be.
um, how do you want to triage it?
Support.
Um, I would mark definitely. We would need to try reproducing it, and then this is. I mean, this goes in the backlog for next time we go to Chef Backend, and
Yeah, we have the chef icon on it.
yeah, cool. I think that's probably enough. Um, maybe just put a note saying keeping this here because we don't have a
Chef
issue
icon is not open. Yeah.
issues. Yeah.
Um, all right.